Hey guys, my name is Justin Geike. I'm the owner of Chase Outdoors, an independent sporting goods retailer in Wisconsin. And over the last 5 years, as we've grown our business, there's something that I've heard repetitively over and over and over. And that's parents or grandparents or neighbors that just constantly are stressed out by the fact it's so difficult for us to recruit new archers, new hunters, new fishermen because kids are so obsessed with video games. And that's really something that stuck with me, and it's so important and imperative to us as we look towards the future of our business, the future of conversation, our wild game herds. I mean, recruitment in the hunting and fishing industry is monstrously important here in the United States. And I've spent my entire career in this industry, the hunting and fishing industry, as a fishing guide, as a tackle manufacturer, at a television show on Sportsman Channel, and everywhere I go, there's just the same constant desire for engagement with people in the sport. Now, if you're like me and you live in Wisconsin, it's in -20 or whatever it is today. One of the things that we do here in February is it's really difficult to get involved or engaged in a lot of things. Not to mention that, but every time you meet somebody, the same thing keeps coming over and over. Hey, how's it going? Hey, what you been up to? Everybody keeps going, oh, I'm so busy, I'm so busy. So I've been constantly trying to brainstorm on a few different things that would help engage and recruit and excite people into the sport of archery, into the sport of hunting, and into the sport of the fishing. And one of the things came to me as just in my general frugality was looking at a way to save some money. Now, as you can see, this is my archery range here within the store, and we're not a big range where we have leagues or competitive shooting. I mean, it's only 10 yards. It's really for test firing and tuning bows. And I thought, how can I maximize this space and make it fun and make it exciting? And I thought to myself, well, you know, video archery is always something that's really engaging and you can do at short distances that people have a lot of fun. So I start to look in and I see these systems that are $8,000 to $25,000, and I think to myself, this is ludicrous. I mean, it's absolutely insane. The idea that you could ever get a return on an investment with equipment like that while tying up our only lane that we have got that we could be using for test firing and selling bows just didn't make any sense. But it's just my nature to try to figure things out and find creative ways of doing things on my own that don't cost me money. And here is the result of that, which solves so many problems. And I think in today's modern society where we're constantly on our phones, this answers so many different questions. And I think it's so good for the sport, and I'm excited to bring it to you. The idea for this point is called ArcheryNow, and what it is essentially video archery. But here's the big catch. The big catch is I'm hoping that the entire price point of this unit can be around $199 and make it extremely portable. And what's so awesome about this system is you could just take your projection screen, plug it in, download an app on your phone, and you can go through all these different scenarios off of the app that'll Bluetooth link with this projection screen to work here. So the only expense to the owner is the cost of the projection screen, which I'm seeing Bluetooth projection screens run anywhere from $50 to $100 on Amazon for basic price point. Now, why this system is so cost effective to the consumer is the fact that we're not shooting with a blunt tip or not shooting into into a specific screen. We're just shooting onto a projected image onto a target. The benefit to this system, by not needing the sensors to read where you're hitting, is just the fact that it's worked off of time. We're building 15-minute intervals and 30-minute intervals. Well, everything is basically timed out. Shooter, get ready, you've got 15 seconds to shoot. This makes this unit not only extremely cost effective to the consumer, but it makes it extremely portable and easy to do anywhere. So, at first, my thought was we're going to put these into archery ranges, and this is going to be a really economic way for every archery range in the country to have video archery without a big expense, something where they could be profitable to make sure that, you know, we as archery shops are still around for the future. And I thought that was a really neat idea. And then all of a sudden I brought my son in here to try this out at 8 years old with his bow, and we had so much fun. But because of the strength of his equipment and of his age, I thought to myself, there is absolutely no reason that we can't do this in our basement, in our garage. And all of a sudden it dawns on me, this isn't a system just for archery ranges, this is a system for everybody. So the whole premise is to create this in one of two different fashions. One is to be app-based off of your cell phone. So you would buy your projector from your $50 to $100 price point, download your app on the phone, whatever the price is. If it's $199 a month, that we've got that continual revenue stream coming from consumers, and the ability to go into the pro version, which may give you the expanded version, which would give you shoots for not just whitetails, but North America, African hunts. And let's not just make this about hunters, let's make this about archers. We can do zombie shoots. We can do all kinds of, like, even bringing in stuff like Minecraft, which is so big with kids. Archery is a part of that game, and it is something that dominates children. Even Fortnite, you could bring in additions like that that would be relatable. So all of a sudden we're combining archery equipment with video games. So I'm going to quit jabbing here in a little bit. The other style that I wanted to talk about is, what about the person who doesn't have a cell phone? What about the person who's in a place where they don't have cell phone reception to do that? Well, my next idea would to be download all of these scenarios to be able to load on an SD card that we could put into an existing projector and house it in a durable aluminum camouflage case, so that the person could just buy the unit. It could be plug and play with the use of a remote. So I'm going to stop babbling and we're going to go and shoot this thing. So first thing coming up is just explaining how the system works to people. Red is the heart, yellow is the lungs, body, and miss. Archers are warned to prepare for their target. Now when the image comes up, we'll have 15 minutes to draw and shoot. 15 seconds. So you shoot, then after the 15 seconds comes up, then up comes the target. You can see that I missed low on the whitetail. It gives us 15 seconds to use binoculars if need be, and write down our score on our provided scorecards, which would be printable off a PDF target. Now we're ready for target 2. And you see we're not removing the arrow. Shot. And every one of these images is designed to keep
everything away. So after 3, then turn my volume on. Alright. Alright, now we've scored our 5 targets. And now we've got a 2-minute time period where we can go and pick up our 5 arrows.
And one thing that's neat with the portable projector is that you can move it further back and closer to the target to change the overall size and dynamic of your screen. Depending on how far you shoot, if you're trying to shoot in your basement, maybe you've only got 5 or 7 yards and you want to shoot, you can move your projector up closer to make your images and your target smaller. If you're shooting long distances, like say you've got a pole building or something, you can move this back and have as large as a 10-15 foot screen with this particular projector. And then it makes it easier to shoot with buddies because you'll have larger spaces to fit arrows in.
There we go. I don't know what that thing says.
All right, that's the opening concept of my in-home, at church functions with kids, any kids events, schools. There's just no end to the scenarios where we could use this as a tool for youth recruitment. We could use it at sports shows. I mean, birthday parties. I mean, it's really endless. The other thing that's nice too is it's not constricting based off of archery equipment too. If we want to take a 3-year-old with one of those little fiberglass kids bows with the blunt tips on them, this totally works. If you want to put up a sheet of 2-inch pink foam insulation, and if your kid's old enough to stand, they can participate and have this fun. In fact, last night we used this at Cub Scouts with kids with Nerf guns and they loved it. So that's the idea behind this, is increasing participation in the sport. Even for the hardcore hunter, I think the opportunity for 365 days of practice in what's roughly, like this particular instance, if you're at like a 15-minute interval, is something that's very valuable. Another point that was made is if you've got like a guy here from Wisconsin who's going on his first archery elk hunt, that you could do an entire elk scenario so that we can get the anatomy right and work with people to make sure that we get our vitals in just the perfect spot, so it's a more valuable tool for them that actually really has a big impact on the success of their hunt. So that's that. I'm Justin Geike, and thanks for entertaining me. Now chases up on the antelope target. Hey, that's a really good shot. All right, let's see where you did on the vitals. Hey, look at that. You're in the lungs. Good shot, buddy.